Hi everyone, my name is Linslow by choice. If you do not know, I build in The Sims, play games in The Sims, and record it. And so today we are doing a speed build for a comfy home. And I really didn't know how to label this, label this video. So my thought process was, I love a home where it just really makes me need to take a deep nap. Like as soon as I get in, I feel so comfy and I just want to take a really big nap. And I was thinking, what would that look like in The Sims 4? And this is what I came up with. So if you want to see what that looks like and hear my thought process about it, go ahead and grab everything you need and let's get into the details of this. So as you can see so far, this is actually a 2-story home, and on the first floor we have everything we need for the home. So it's just like the kitchen, the living room, dining room, mudroom, entryway, and a half bathroom. And then as we go upstairs, there are 2 bedrooms and 1 full bath. And there's also like a little shed in the back where you can do some woodworking. That's actually what I put in that shed, but it could be literally anything you want. I just wanted to add something so it can feel like, you know, just a typical home, in my opinion, because where I'm from, there are a lot of homes that have sheds and like just additional space outside of the home where you can do a lot of things. So I wanted to push that into The Sims 4, and this is really where we got. So as you can see by, you know, the entire thumbnail, this home ends up being brown and green, but that doesn't really translate as you go in. The brown, yes, but the accent colors really change throughout the build. The kitchen has a yellow kind of color, but as we go into like the living room, that's not really a yellow, but it has some yellow aspects in it. So cohesion wasn't really a big factor for this. I don't think they're too fashion conscious. They're not too big on making everything matchy. It's just supposed to be comfy. If they like it, they bring it home. If they like it, they get it. So that is really what I go into. As you can see here, I thought I was gonna go for this color, which is like a dark blue. And now that I'm looking at it, it doesn't look too bad, but the green actually just sparks so much for me. So I do end up changing that a little bit later. But for now, I needed to figure out this floor plan. That's number one. And I knew for a fact that when I lived in a cozy home, there wasn't really an open floor plan, so I didn't want an open floor plan for this one. I wanted it to be a little bit closed off. I needed it to be a little bit more of, you know, a traditional home, no open concept at all. So everything is broken up. It looks like you have to travel all the way around to get to the laundry area, and that's where I put the mudroom. The mudroom is actually next to the back door, so it's not anything that is very close, and you can see that there. I just finished off that. So that is like the space that we get, and I feel like everything just doesn't look too crimped either, and that's something that I was happy about, because usually I build homes and from the outside it looks perfect. I have windows in and everything, and then I go inside and I'm like, this is huge. Or I go in and I'm like, this is too small. But rarely do I get this is too small. It's always like, this is going to take forever to build. And this one actually worked perfectly. It was like not too big, not too small, and it just took a little bit of thinking for the floor plan, actually, for the top, because I was like, I want to have 2 bedrooms at least, and I end up having 3 bedrooms, so that's my mistake. It's 3 bedrooms, 1 bath at the top of this, but again, I think this just ends up being one of the comfiest homes I've ever made. By the end of this, if you think so, please let me know in the comments, because this actually did not take me too much, because I had an idea in my head. The only thing that took a little bit of thinking was, do I want this to be very matchy-matchy? And I end up going for no. So after that, I was like, what makes me want to sit in it? What makes me want to lay in this bed? Like, if I didn't get that immediate feeling like, ooh, that looks like it would be so comfy, I don't end up putting it in there. So I am happy to show this off. It's already up in gallery if you want to take a look at it, but I wanted to add a few concepts here that I always do in my builds, and it's a place for you to put your car. Even though in The Sims 4, you don't really have a car, but you can size up things, you can get things from Debug. So I did that, and that's what we have there. I end up using some of the counters from, I think this is Cottage Living. Yeah, I think this is Cottage Living. I ended up using that one, and this is pretty cool because I haven't really used a lot of Cottage Living furniture, or specifically the kitchen cabinet. So this is my first time using it, and in the end, it was fun. I was having a good time. I ended up going in and finding some debug things. So it's not traditional landscaping here a lot of the time, especially in the front of this home. It's a lot of like planter boxes, and they have plants in them. But in the back, there ends up being like a little space for like overgrown trees, or not trees, overgrown shrubs and stuff. So that is like just a place that is there. It's not really a lot of landscaping going on here because I don't really think they care that much, if I'm being 110% honest with you. So I focused a lot of my attention on the inside of this home and making sure that it was as comfy as possible. And the first fully furnished part of this home ends up being the dining table. And this is one of those dining tables where I feel like they eat here daily. And in most cases, in a traditional home in the United States, well, I know when like I was growing up, it was customary for you to have two dining tables, like dining rooms. One was like near the kitchen, and that's where everyone ate regularly, and then the other one was like very fancy. No one actually goes in there. It's like they go in there and they dust it off when it's time to clean, but that's about it. And so I wanted this one to be a little bit different because I didn't have a lot of space. So I felt like that dining table is actually where they eat most of their time. So I end up going with that. I wanted to go with the purple at first, but I end up going with blue and yellow, just yellow in the curtains really. And I just needed some kind of curtain that kind of closed that window. So I really didn't care. I ended up changing the cabinets here to be brown, the darker brown, and I end up using that stove. I actually love that stove so much. And one underrated item in The Sims 4 is definitely the hanging pots. And it's under the fan thing, I think. And I think it comes with base game as well. So, but please correct me in the comments because I'm not sure. I'm not actually looking at it because I was already placing that by the time I mentioned it. So please let me know. But I feel like that's definitely underrated, especially for homes that are very traditional in a sense. So I felt like that was cool. And I end up adding a lot of yellow in here. As I mentioned, that's the accent color in here. And I felt like one way for us to like tie that in was definitely to add those little yellow flowers. It's like mini sunflowers. It's really cute. And here we are going right into the living space. I end up adding a game table there. You can definitely change that out for chess, but I felt like that space was, just really nice. I add a little reading nook over there. So we have the bookcase, the big chair, and then a little ottoman, which is actually another chair. And then I add two more plum chairs to match the kind of grapes that are in that bigger couch, and then just another end table over there, and the lamps actually match as well, and I really love that. I add a little chess or checkers board right there. It's just a decoration. You can't really do anything with it. I wish we could actually play checkers in The Sims 4, but also I really don't know how international checkers is, so please let me know. I really don't know. I could look that up. Google is free. I started to turn my attention into the mudroom, but I quickly ended up going to the half bath here. I ended up using that debug item that it's a little plunger. And so I wanted to use that. And so it's here in this bathroom, and it's also in the bathroom above. That's the full one. And it's very basic. I needed to add a few things of decoration, some paintings throughout this home. So I do end up adding that. But that is what the layout of this mudroom looks like. The washing machine on one side and then the storage on the other side. I do add a little, a little ottoman. I think that's what that is. Yeah. I add a little ottoman there, and that's where I think, they sit there, they take their shoes off, and they just, get ready. And also you could put, you know, clothes there if you're folding or anything. So that's my thought process with that. But I end up moving from in there upstairs, and I felt like this needed carpet. It needed carpet. One of the homes that I lived in when I was a child had carpet in the kitchen, and I could never understand why. And to this day, I still really don't know why. But I look on TikTok, and there are so many places that have carpet throughout the entire home. There's carpet in the bathroom, and I know that was a big thing at one point, so that was new to me. But I started out moving into this bedroom, and this is what I thought a child's bedroom would look like. So I started off in this one, but this entire bedroom, like decoration and everything, ends up moving to the bedroom closest to the front of the house. So I end up moving that over because I needed to put the parents' bedroom in here because the other ones didn't look as big as that one. So I do end up having to change that out. I tried to put it in here. I don't know why I thought that was a good idea. It was not, as you can see. So I had to change it over. I had to take some of the decorations out, make it look like it was meant to be there. I do end up adding that chair still. So it's still a lot going on in there, but I do think it is, you know, playable, but I didn't test it. So you might need to take out the chair, but I think everything else is pretty good. I do end up moving into the parents' room. And for this one, I end up using the end tables, and it's kind of like it was built into the bed a little bit. And I definitely like that. I wanted to have that mirror over by their dresser, but I end up moving that over, and the mirror ends up being right next to the laundry basket. And for decorations in here and in general, I didn't have a lot of decorations in a lot of the bedrooms, but again, it's very cozy, and with that comes a little bit of clutter. So I had to include that here. And just looking in this bedroom, I want to take a nap bad. So I really feel like this was a great kind of home for me to go into. Now we are moving into the full bathroom, and this is not modern at all, so I had to really lean into a more older home. So I end up going for this 2-tiled shower, but it is the shower with the curtain around the entire thing, and I think that's perfect. I couldn't actually put the mirror right next to the sink, so it's over to the side, but we are moving into the final bedroom, and this one is just woods, and the accent color is like orange, but like a lighter wood. And I thought this was for, you know, someone who's visiting, but then I was like, this could be perfect for a teenager. So I end up going with that, and that's where we get the orange and again, more browns. So we are still leaning into that, and this is when I realized I did put a washer and dryer in this home, so they do need laundry baskets, and so I go ahead and add those. Then since this is a cozy home, I had to add in some wallpaper here. So the entire home is really the same wallpaper, and I end up changing the bedrooms to be a completely different color, but everything else is really the same. And I do end up changing all of these lights, so I didn't want those saucers that I put in at the beginning of the build to still be there, so I ended up changing the light fixtures there. I wanted to take off the little white lining that happens from the wallpaper on the outside, but I couldn't do that, so that's still there. Please let me know if you know the trick to that. I've been trying to figure it out for a while, and it's only for wallpapers like this that have the lining on the sides of like the rooms, but it only happens sometimes, and that's where it really just grinds my gears, because what's going on here? And so this is where I end up adding in all of the landscaping here, and we have one over in the corner, and then we have one next to the shed, and I do end up adding a little seating area right there. It's not really an area, just a bench, and then some planter boxes, and then that's when we move right into the shed area. And this is where I added in a sink, I added in some more storage things, and a woodworking table, and also a little couch. So this is very cozy. It just works if you want to do some woodworking, and there is no space on the inside of that house because it's not open floor plan. There's no extra space unless they want to take out one of the bedrooms, and that's always an option. So if you do want to do that, it is already up in the gallery, so feel free to do that. If you like this video, I enjoyed building with you. So go ahead and subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell. That way you can be notified whenever I post new videos. And I will see you in the next video. We're coming right up on screenshots here, and I add in a few more little changes, a few more little decorations to make it really look like a home. And I hope you can see that. I'll see you in the next video. Bye everyone.